Hello. So, looks like all three of us are now in a wing. This just makes it a little bit more convenient for me. Who we got here? Squaddle, are you there? I guess he's in the background. Spike, you there?
Appointment on it, Band-Aid doesn't actually better.
Okay, no one's here then.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hello. So you are here.
Yeah. I was in the middle of trying to drop into a station and talk to my son when you invited me to Wang.
I see.
How's it going, Spike?
Spike is on Discord. Which I've got interfaced now successfully with my iPad, but it wasn't putting sound through before, which I hate, and I hate it anyway because I have to remove my VR helmet, my fragile VR helmet, in order to.
Want to come do your father a favor? Come here.
In order to talk to anyone with Discord. So anyway. Okay.
I downloaded Discord. Or I made an account. I've downloaded twice. I haven't bothered since the last time I downloaded Windows.
Yeah.
But I haven't bothered re-downloading it since.
Yeah, 1 second. Okay. So, well, it's up to you. I'm not going to compel you to do anything you don't want to do, but I'm just saying it's extremely, because of the state of my VR helmet, it's very hard for me to switch from keyboard back to helmet, back to keyboard, back to helmet. It's just very, very difficult to do, which is why I'm using voice more often than not to talk to everyone.
1, 2.
I'm assuming. What's that?
I give my son crap.
Oh.
He tore his knee up and he wants Tylenol. So he wanted shot vodka.
Hello, Spike.
I got in-game level now, so I would imagine you can hear me now.
No, I can. You can, you know, with Discord, you can go to a voice channel and switch on the. Except I can hear myself in the background now. But you can switch on the using command apostrophe or command reverse apostrophe. You can turn on the chat features of Discord in Elite somehow. I have never seen it work though.
I can agree to having my voice listened to, but it is just as inconvenient for me to wear headphones as it is for you to use the keyboard in VR.
I understand. Is your mom back home yet?
Nice.
Is my mom back home? No, she's still in recuperation.
Yeah.
I lost my dad last week. last Monday.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, we sort of expected it, but it was a bit quick.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I've lost a parent already myself, so I know exactly what you're going through.
But if Mom doesn't start to somehow overcome her problem with her mind, her computer running the machine, as the doctor said today, then she might be going right away too.
What exactly? I thought she just had dementia. Is there another cause that's being diagnosed now, or?
Well, you know, like, in order for you to relearn things, she has to learn how to walk again. And her connection between her mind and her body aren't what they used to be, right?
Right.
So she may have a lot of difficulty learning to manage on her own things that physically she's able to do.
Well,
you know, she becomes very agitated and insecure, especially at the nighttime.
Yeah, I could see that.
So that's just as big a problem as having a broken hip, is not appreciating where you are or how you got there.
Oh yeah, yeah. I can imagine that.
And then you go and tell her that her husband's passed away, and you don't expect some sort of depressive state, I would assume.
Has she been told then, or?
But that's where we're at. We're getting through her. At least money's a little bit less of an issue because there's some life insurance involved with Dad, so he helped us out big time there.
Oh, okay.
That really helps.
Yeah, in the United States, I know it's an issue. It's something in Canada that, well, I didn't have to deal with myself with my own parents. I can't imagine what I would have done if I'd had to.
You know, if they declare her unfit, then I instantly own this estate. And I've been trying to prepare for it, but it's an undertaking.
Oh yes. Yeah.
It's a nice house on a nice lot in a nice neighborhood, and it's worth a lot of money, and it's all paid off. So those are all positives. But it's so full of clutter that you can't show it.
No,
I can't
I know.
afford to live here.
When I
can't afford the property taxes or utility payments.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I need to downsize. So in order to do that, the steps have always needed to be taken to declutter.
Yeah.
And while Mom was here, that was an issue, whereas we've been sort of busy lately.
Yeah.
The issue has resolved itself. But we were all planning on her coming back, but these last couple of days have been pretty rough, and now they're talking about reassessing her, so that always is bad.
Well, I'm sorry to hear you're having those issues.
Flying colors if they do that.
Yeah, well, best of luck to you on that. I mean, these are many of these issues are not something I had to deal with, and I wouldn't know how to counsel you. I imagine they're very stressful, though, by the sounds of it. My own father.
Not enough pot to keep the stress at bay. So
Yeah.
that's good.
Ironically, that's how I've dealt with several of my problems in life, is turning to recreational pharmaceuticals.
They call it self-medication.
Yes. You can say what you like about it. It does work to a degree.
Well, you have to be within a community and have a network, you know, and if they see that an abuse arises, they have to help you.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing was, in my own history, I did have at various points, I no doubt did have an abuse problem, but I also solved those problems by myself, for the most part. There's only ever been one drug I ever took that was ever an issue, and those are painkillers, and it's a painkiller.
Oh, opioids?
opioids, and there's a documented regimen about that's very well understood. In fact, right now, I don't even understand how new drug addicts get started, because you can have a drug called Suboxone issued to you within 1 to 2 days if you're a brand new addict, and you can be cured of any dependency issue. It'll clear your system, and it's not painful, and it doesn't cause all the issues that people normally associate with opioids, and has been the problem for the past several decades. This drug is fairly new, but I don't know why it's not being prescribed more often. I think it's got a lot to do with stigma and ignorance in the community as well. So.
Yeah, but you're right. Information is important, right?
It's vital, absolutely vital, in any medical consideration, be it a dependency issue with drugs, or something physical, or something mental. If you're suffering from mental illness, you need the latest information about what's most relevant to your case.
Right. Putting it into context of the home situation, there you go. It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
And there are tools to help the professional industry move along and continue to provide excellent service in and throughout Canada, and each of its provinces have their own special ways of doing stuff.
Yeah.
And compensating its citizens and taking care of them at a governmental level, and keeping the paperwork to a minimum, but still having accountability behind it.
One thing that really got my father when my grandfather passed away was probate. God, he went on for it must have been 2 months about probate. This happens. This is part of the business that you have to take care of after you have someone you're responsible for passes. And it can be hell if it's not set up properly. But my father learned from that experience and set it up properly for himself.
Oh, that's a bonus.
So I don't even have to lift a finger, according to what he's told me. We'll wait and see if that's actually true.
Yeah, you'll sign something in front of an important witness, and then things will happen from there.
Yeah,
easier.
But I told him don't issue him or my brother estates. We've been very well looked after. If you have an estate, do with it what you will. If you're going to offer something to my brother and I, do so. But we've had our conversations about it, so it's all been prepared. But
that's good to know that you got that going ahead of you, because everything's inevitable.
Well, and you know what? If I ever have kids, I will do the exact same thing. I mean, it'll be on autopilot, so I can die, and not be worried. Oh my God, what am I leaving behind? For my offspring to clean up after me. It's the last thing I want to have my offspring worry about.
Yeah, even though most burdens are short-lived, you don't want to leave one if you can help it.
No.
Entire insurance industry has been built upon that thought.
Yep. I guess at some point when I reach a ripe old age, I'll have to look at my insurance again. I look at it every once in a while. I took a look at it recently because I had my scooter got stolen up here in Ottawa. And it got stolen twice. After the first time, though, I was smart and I actually insured the thing. So I had zero deductible, and if the fuckers came back and took it ever again, I was covered. And sure enough, I damn near fell off my chair when they said, "Oh yeah, you're covered. You've got no deductible, and you can get a new bike."
Wonderful.
It was pretty damn wonderful, I can tell you. It came at a really bad time. But I mean, it's still inconvenient because for a week you don't have any means of transportation, right? And I'm deep into a residential area, so I don't even have Like, I'm not near a street or anything where I can just go and go to the corner store. To go to the corner store, it's over a kilometer away.
Well, I was always taught to keep like a good $5,000 cushion in case of things like that, so you could spend them on cabs and emergency times and out of state accidents or whatever. But not everybody can afford that type of thing.
I actually did that myself, and within the last 12 months, it got used up. The cushion is gone now because I was between contracts with the government of Canada scaling back its contracting. The cushion got eaten up more than there was cushion for, really. Luckily, I have 2 incomes, but things are pretty tight at the moment. I can look after my bills, and that's about it. There's not extra for anything at the moment. But I think I'm going to have to turn this around and not necessarily rely on being employed as a term role in the future. I'm going to have to go back to regular employment, and that's going to be a tall order.
Right. So I got a favor to ask you.
Yeah.
You know how you have a good YouTube feed there, right? Everything goes off Renet or Rebound or Third Try or whatever it's called.
Yep.
You record pretty much everything you do. Can you edit or unrecord the first 10 minutes or this one and start a new one, or no?
Yeah, there's YouTube comes with editing tools of its own. So once it's up on YouTube, you use Creator Studio inside of YouTube's web property to delete, the first 10 minutes or the last 10 minutes.
Mute would be the best way.
You know what they do, though?
I use Vegas Pro a bit, so I know how it can take time to reissue, but your computer isn't doing any of the cycles the way you're doing it.
No, it's actually off cycle completely. It's using the cloud. But here's the thing: if you do it the way I'm doing it, you surrender all control to YouTube, and YouTube has its own rules. So if you play music during your game, guess what? YouTube.
Oh, yeah, I know about that.
Yeah. That really pissed me off, finding that out, and just goddamn YouTube figures that, oh well, you're playing copyright music. Meanwhile, there are whole channels on YouTube that are devoted to music that are put there by DJs, and they don't have to deal with this. And I don't understand how they could have no copyright declaratively, and the rest of the user base, like myself,
because they're creating, they have a license that they're modifying the music enough that it's creating an offshoot or a vision that they have. But you're right, there is a huge loophole there somewhere.
Yeah.
I've gone to like album compilations and they've been removed for copyright law.
Yeah.
Well, those ones didn't make the cut, but there's still lots that are there. There's lots that they released or rescinded copyright of music, but I know what you mean. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like, it just drives me crazy. Like, you put stuff up there thinking YouTube's going to honor it, and you can't even play music in the background because now you have to be fearful that some troll is going to be sitting there.
Play music, it just has to be your music. It can't be someone else's music.
But how could they tell the difference? If I'm playing some DJ from elsewhere on YouTube, or just from elsewhere, it doesn't even have to be YouTube, from Spotify, let's say, how the hell are they supposed to figure this out? The DJ is using copyrighted material to begin with, so there's no way they can know.
Like, there's people's accounts out there on Spotify that are obviously not, they don't run with those rules. They're open, and like Tom Cook, Tokoso, he's got that big, huge, massive pile of work on his thing there, and he'll just, he sort of has to still give you the permissions, but he can just spill off any of that stuff to wherever he wants.
Yeah.
He's the intellectual property of it, right?
But look at
you're not.
look at no, I'm not, but there's no way, there's no distinguishing factor between the DJ random number 1 and DJ random number 2 and me as especially when I'm playing in the background and reducing the quality. Well, they're not doing it computationally, that much I'm sure of. So a couple times I've gotten complaints like filed against the this is going back quite like over a year, but I've gotten complaints from trolls in the past that say, oh, he's using copyrighted material. Well, what do the DJs do that put copyrighted material verbatim up on their site and just do rearrangements of the music? They don't have permission from 120 different artists that they recorded over, you know, over a 4-hour set to say, oh well, it's okay, he can spin this music. Those artists are inventing the music in large part because A, they have multiple audiences, and B, they know people like DJs are going to come along and they're going to spin them. And they're going to spin them however the hell they want and claim that the arrangement is their copyright. Well, maybe it is, but then what's the difference between their arrangement and mine?
Sounds like a Wes Craven movie in the background there.
That might be a squaddle. He's like, I'm watching Babylon 5 all day. Babylon 5 reruns.
Oh, it's Babylon 5.
Yeah, there's some weird noise coming out of Babylon 5. I remember that one. That was back in the 90s, and you look at some of the graphics that were used back then, and you're just like, what the hell? Like, we got better graphics in Elite now.
You see that new game that they posted?
Which one?
Oh my goodness, let's see if I can find that real quick. Infinity Battlescape.
No, I haven't seen that one.
Do a YouTube search for Infinity Battlescape Alpha Access Stream if you really want to put all that in.
Mm-hmm.
It's this game mixed with something like Descent, I don't know, from...
Descent?
Well...
Descent is really old. I mean, that's going back to the 8-bit
Not
process.
the original Descent, Descent 2 or Descent 3.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I'm not sure if I saw all the iterations of it after the original.
But anyway, Infinity Battlescape. It's a big alpha access. You get a little pop-up window of the dev doing it with you, and it's awesome. Like, oh, wow.
Really? Okay.
Like, wow.
Blows
all the little ticks and mix I think you're going to like if on the HUD even, like, the HUD is so much more streamlined than our HUDs.
Well, is it VR or is it no? Is it just console?
I don't know. He's not playing in VR. He doesn't have a VR headset.
Because no game now that I play, with few exceptions, like I'll play legacy games like Archon and Tetris and whatnot. Those are on my desktop. But other than the classics, the classic 2D 8-bit games.
I'll Google it right now and see if it is. I don't think so. But we'll
probably not. I mean, there can be a lot of games that are 2D, 3D rendered, but...
This is all taken from my night of gaming that I have off, by the way.
Okay.
Battlescape B.
Oh, man. What the hell? Where did it go?
VR.
Tantalum. There it is. I found my Tantalum.
Yeah, it looks like it is.
It is VR?
There's a video of exploring a Corvette in VR.
Oh, okay. Infinity Battlescape.
Post you a link in our chat here.
Yeah, I won't look at it till later, but I will definitely take a look at it. Okay, so... I'm just going to do a quick run here, and then where are you? Like, are you... Actually, hold on, I'm about to find out where you are. A diva? No, you're not a diva. What star system are you in?
LHS 134.
Oh my God, you're near Sol. You gotta be near Sol.
Yeah.
Okay.
LHS 20 is right next door.
There you are. There you are. There you are. I found you. LHS 134. Well, who the hell's this then? I got another person in here.
How would I know?
I don't know, but some guy, Delta Flyer. I'm surprised you never flew with him. He's a good wingman, but he doesn't use voice at all. He doesn't even have a microphone.
Well, aren't there like literally thousands of people that we are supposed to instance to, or doesn't it work that way?
Yeah.
Like how could I possibly have met him unless
there are over right now. The total player count is approaching 1 million. Last I heard, and that was like 6 months ago. Worldwide, like 1 million registered users. That's just a nutty amount of people for a game like this.
Is that counting double accounts? Probably only take up like 2% of that. Multiple accounts.
There might be some overlap, but I don't know how much overlap.
But even then,
it's a lot of accounts. Yeah. I mean, it's a really popular game, and a lot of people play it, but there's also a lot of people that just shelve their account for like months at a time, and then come back and play it for a few weeks, and then put it away again.
Well, why not? Yeah.
So there are lots more players than there are players active. At any given time, there's probably a couple 100,000 active, but Jonas.
I play 5 hours in the system, and another person in open plays 5 hours in that system, the same 5 hours, and we don't see each other. Why would that be?
Yeah, that's true.
That we should see each other.
Well,
it should be packed.
If it was it's not. No. Well, it is packed. I mean, there are quite like when I log into Mobius, like at least on a weekend like this, 70% of Mobius seems to be logged in, and there's tens of thousands of people logged in, that way. And they're running this. Don't forget where they're running this. They're running this on Amazon Web Services, right?
Yeah.
So,
I'm glad you know that. I knew that too, but I just don't know exactly what that means at all times.
Oh. Well,
I can guess that when there's a glitch, it means that they're at fault, but that's not the whole story.
Well, here's the whole story. There are 3 basic popular cloud services out there right now. The top 3 are Microsoft, Windows, Azure. Okay, this is a multifaceted, multi-service cloud apparatus that interfaces one type of application server with lots of other types of application servers and services and options and pricing and blah, 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 blah. It's very complicated and very well organized, in my opinion. You then have Amazon Web Services, which I know the least about, ironically, but it probably runs, this apparatus probably is running either Windows or C#. They could run the server products on Unix. I'm not sure if they are. Just not clear on what exactly the technology FDev uses is. It wouldn't surprise me if it were Unix, though. And again, Amazon has another competitive alternative. They are, in fact, a little bit cheaper than Microsoft as a vendor for cloud services. And the third one you get is Google, and Google has its own series of cloud services, which are JavaScript, C++, C#, GitHub interfaced, homogenized services that all run happily together. And of course, all this can run in tandem through the web using RESTful HTTP calls as needed to pass data back and forth. That's where you get the APIs from for EDDB and Inara and all the rest of it. So that's the cloud architecture. And then I know this also, that they instance users based on the following criteria. Are you private? Are you open play? Or are you in solo mode? And each of those modes has different instancing priorities, but they all draw from the same database and the same application framework. So if you are in private mode, if you make changes to a system behind the scenes in the background sim, it will take effect for people in open play as well. But you won't see anyone from open play actively moving around in the game, because only open play
That's
users.
How it works. That's exactly how it works.
Yeah.
And the same with solo.
So there's that concept of instancing.
Point there that you had that I thought you were going into that sounded like it was a little more interesting. I can't remember it now.
Well, I just wasn't sure how well aware you were of like the instancing, the web services.
You were explaining about how when things go funny, it's quite complicated.
Well, it is complicated, but when things go funny, they probably affect different instancing in different ways. For example, in addition to the major instances, you have sub-instances, such as what type of ship you're flying, because you can only have one user logged in at a time, so every user has their own instancing, right? You have a ship type, you have parameters for your ship, you have different ships with different parameters are stored separately, and they all appear apparently when they get all buggered up, they tend to be buggered up globally, but not necessarily. For example, when I switch from a Type 9 freighter in open play to a Viper Mark IV in open play, why would the module list that I have go blank, and then I can't check my energy? Well, there's a series of possible measures that one could take to troubleshoot that problem based on the architecture that they're using. At a high level, I know what those are. At a low level, no, I don't, and neither does anyone else except people who actually work for Frontier and are aware of its API and tools and whatnot. They actually use Starforge to build large segments of the background sim as well as to create new astronomical phenomenon. This is the tool that they're using in at the end of the month and again at the end of the year, minimally, to add new ship types or to add new stellar phenomenon, or to add features like deep core mining, which will create actually some additional new features.
Excited.
What's that?
Don't get me too excited.
Well, but
just hearing that there's certain mines, asteroids that you're going to be able to accidentally kill you. They're so powerful and fragile and so much kinetic energy ready to come out that if you do it wrong, your ship gets totaled. The amount of energy is way more than anyone can bargain for.
I think I
am so excited for that.
I think it's more likely the case that they are going to make it so that without adequate shielding and without adequate resources.
No, you screw up. Not only you should die, but if you're in like a red site and there's 8 or 9 other pirates, they should all die too.
Yeah, but they're still going to keep it realistic. Where do you know of an asteroid field in this galaxy?
Well, obviously they're going to create a new type of instancing with a new USS. A USS that's going to show up near or in around mining zones, whatever that's going to be, and we'll see it and we'll experience it. And it'll be bugged, it'll be goofy, and then they'll fix it and it'll be fun. But at first it'll be not fun because of the bug.
Yeah.
So we'll have to try to play without the bug. It's always the bug.
Yeah, they'll probably have to run.
They put a game update out, and that next day, everybody's clipper in the game, if it touched any part of a station or a landing pad, it immediately exploded because they screwed up some math on how much damage your ramming gets taken on with a clipper.
Oh my God.
And I just bought a clipper, brand new, probably my first ever
Yeah, but
one,
they
and
just-
I was
they-
so upset.
They just replaced all the clippers, of course, and they do that
They
globally.
didn't really have the tools to do it how they do now, though. But now,
Well,
they've
no,
got much
they
better
some of the
that you're
tools
talking about.
some of the tools they have will be for debugging purposes and globally altering data, obviously. The data, by the way, likely sits in some sort of parsable database. I don't think they're using data warehousing AI of the sort that we see. For example, there's AI capacities both in all the basic cloud technologies. So Microsoft has their machine learning language called Azure ML. Google has
There's
theirs.
a lot of data that I know from mining. I know that a rock is that rock when you go back there. So in order for it to know what every rock has in the entire game is just unfathomable.
Yeah, but a relational
But it creates
database,
that, right?
a relational database model backfilled using tools, like I said before, could theoretically do that, and they would use a combination of technologies like stored procedures and querying mechanisms that would be resident, all of which would be resident on Azure Cloud. See, the basic tool that they'll have on Azure will be a database or multiple databases paired with the application servers, right? And notice I used the plural there because I don't know exactly how many they've gotten to their architecture, but presumably there's at least one, possibly many processes, and they're all threaded, of course, right? Either into
Level 6, then.
yeah, either into Amazon's own threading model, or they will have invented one themselves to house their. I don't think they would have done this, but they could theoretically write their own threading models to house spawning CPU in accordance with demand. So there would never be any lag for the individual user. They would have throttled it already well in advance. Presumably.
Wing beacon on.
What's that? Yeah, your beacon's on.
Got a wing beacon?
I can see you. Utgaror. There's a hell of a name for a system. Utgaror. You know what's really dumb, though, in this game? One thing that one little niggling little detail that kind of drives me crazy. Okay, I'm in the system right now. Where is it? Hang on. Go back. I'm in BD 193629A. Okay, that system is real. It actually exists. It's a binary star system. A is obviously the alpha component star. And they have built a bunch of fictitious planets and star bases around these stars. Fine. Then, what do they call the habitable world that's now been terraformed and fully colonized with billions of inhabitants? BD-19 space 3629A and it's planet 5. So it's AA5. Okay, no one's calling their planet that. What?
That doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense. They're going to name their planet
All
something.
of the planets are just... There's other planets in the game that have proper noun names, but these ones don't, and they deserve it.
Yeah.
Even the moon. You got to name your
course.
moon something. You can't just say...
Moon. There's actually only one moon. It's here on Earth. It circles the Earth. The moon. Or Luna, if you like. But
I don't like it. So it's got a belt. How far in? 13 chi. It's got a belt.
okay, so hang on. We've got tantalum. 505 tantalum.
Metal rich. So there's no painite in that system in that belt, but there's a
Oh, that was what I was going to do.
star.
So what do I need for, what's the best mining laser that money can buy?
2, size 2.
Size 2, okay. And I get a size 2 mining laser.
Can you buy a lance? No.
No.
You yes?
No.
Oh, okay, then just
A class 2 mining laser. Okay. And then I
why
need...
you would want a turreted one is a good question, but that's okay by you, right? You don't
whatever.
want a turreted one.
No, you
No.
don't.
No.
It doesn't matter. I'm just going to be shooting rocks with it, so
Yes,
it's
it
fine.
does, because you have to go into your GUI and tell your turret to fire forward in order to mine properly.
Oh, for fuck's sake. So we're not
You don't
doing
want
that.
to worry about that, because you might want that setting on attack target only for your regular gun.
Yeah.
So you don't want to be fucking with that.
No. So we'll just leave it on.
Turreted lasers in for multi-crew enhancement. So what? They're useless.
Well, they'll also fire automatically. The AI will, the game logic will actually handle a lot of the firing for you and take down.
I've been having some trouble trying to get my AI crewmate to do certain things in my ship when he's piloting the mothership. Do you have any advice? Is there something that
Don't
I'm
let
doing
him
wrong,
pilot.
or-
Well, no. I mean, I let my AI pilot the
Well, that's the
mothership.
tank.
No.
That's the tank. It tanks everything, so that AI can screw up all day and the hull doesn't go down.
Yeah.
Right.
So that.
Now, on a ship that's more fragile, I'd be careful, but that's up to me as the assistant
That's right,
to make
yeah.
everything right. So, if there's a ship attacking my mothership and I'm not on it at least for 2 seconds
Actually,
on my guns to pull it to me, then I'm doing it wrong.
The AI in the case of my Heavy 9 freighter, the AI seems to work really well at defending the ship from as long as it's in open space. If you have, however, I went to a civilian outpost and I brought the Condor class fighter inside this maze, this like network of tunnels inside this civilian outpost, and I parked the fighter there just to experiment and see if the game AI could handle getting the fighter out. So I put the fighter in there, then I switched, and then I said, okay, dock with the ship. It just sat there. It was completely confounded. It could not figure out how to leave the station and get onto the ship on its own. I mean, it literally, until I made it so that it could actually see a star field, it was unable to figure out how to get out of this tunnel. So any kind of bending in the tunnel, and if it obscures a star fix, the AI can't deal with it. It just sits there.
Boy, it takes you a long time to... Are you on the ground or you're in the air?
I'm in the station still. I'm actually trying to figure out how to outfit.
Oh, you're in the station.
I'm in outfitting right now. I'm trying to figure out how to outfit my ship for mining. So I've got a Type 9 freighter. What else do I need? I need prospector limpets. I need collector limpets. Anything else?
Yeah. A refinery.
Ah, yes, the refinery. What's the best class refinery I can get?
I have a question for you. How many different types of materials do you want to mine for? More than 2 or just 1 or 2? If you're just going for painite, then that's one answer. But if you're going for painite and palladium and gold or whatever else, then get a bigger one. That's the answer. So 4A holds 10. It has 10 bins that you can have 10 different things being ready to process, and a 2A has like 2. So I use a 2A because I only mine for painite. But if I needed to do a CG run or a mission, then I would have to go to a 4 or 3 and have 6 bins or something.
Okay, well, I'm going to I can get rid of the docking computer. Wait, no, I don't want to get rid of the docking computer.
If you don't know where you're going to mine, then you might want to keep it, but you don't really need the surface scanner either. If you're going to do a mining session, what do you need to... You should already know where it is.
No, you don't need the surface scanner.
And the ADS. Same thing with the ADS. You can put something in there, too.
The ADS, what does that stand for?
Advanced Discovery Scan, the honker.
Oh, yes. Well, of course, I keep that at all times. Because that one will scan the whole system instead of visiting a stupid nav beacon. Okay, but you don't... I see what you're saying, though. You don't really need it.
You don't need buggies at all.
But I can... No, not on a mining mission. So that means if I don't need the buggy,
Cargo.
if I don't need the buggy, then I have a class 4 that's open. And
That's good, because you can put a class 3 collector or prospector in there. There is no class 4.
okay, I've got a class. Yeah, so the class 3 is where I put the prospector, and the class 4 is where I put the refinery.
Oh, the fuel scoop. What do you need a fuel scoop for? That's a lot of cargo you can hold.
6A. Well, because I actually use. I mean, I just don't like pulling the fucking fuel scoop out every time I have to fly this thing, like Christ knows where.
Well, you want to maximize your session, then you do it. If you're not, you want to be more versatile, that's good too. Versatile is always good, in case you got to go away.
Yeah, but the fuel scoop only gives you, with 6A cargo rack only gives you 64 slots.
Well, I take 300 empty slots when I go mining.
I have five. I already have 512 tons of empty slots.
Oh, perfect.
I don't need any more slots. So I can.
We're on our way back already. Okay, let's see what else you have. Yeah, there you go. You got a good shield. You got some way to fight off the pirates, right? You're good for offense.
Oh yeah.
And what happens if it's a Conda and a Fer-de-Lance? Can you run from them in high wake and time and from the wing?
Yeah. I can. Well, the Fer-de-Lance.
You'll probably get your shields dropped.
I have but my armor count is 2835, I think here. Hang on, what is?
Well, that's good.
Shield strength is at 701.7 on this. And,
that's fine.
And hang on a moment.
Do you have any cell banks? No.
1 second.
That'd be okay.
1 second. We have to figure this out. 1 second. I want. No, that's not right. Jesus Christ. Hang on. 4 internals, please.
Oh, yeah, I want to see your distributor.
So, right now... What the fuck is going on here?
You didn't go into Corey, actually. Yeah, there you go. Oh, it's a 6D, but it's engineered, eh? What do you got it engineered for?
Oh, I thought you were looking at Inara, because I put all my stats. The Inara API is supported by eDiscovery.
I'm watching your YouTube stream.
Oh.
Been watching it for about 10 minutes.
It's
a lot easier.
Yeah, I guess.
What you're doing than asking you.
So, let's see here. The advanced...
You got a decent ship there.
Yeah, so,
Nothing wrong with that at all. That distributor being at 6D, that's not going to help you mining at all. You need to max out your distributor for mining. Because your lasers, you're just going to run dry too fast. You're going to be waiting to recharge them. But
hang on.
It'll just take a minute or 2 minutes or whatever it takes.
Yeah, well, whatever. I mean, it takes... I'm used to that.
It's negligible. It's definitely not worth going off to try to find one right now.
No,
but the next time you see one, tuck one away.
So, sorry, what was this again?
The distributor.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah. D class.
It's been, but you know what else? Good. You know what else you didn't notice about the D class though? Is the distributor. Hang on. Look at that. It has an engineering upgrade. It's been modified.
That's good.
And modifications. It's been stripped down and has system-focused power distributors. So I get systems bonus. Okay, so don't be dissing my 6D power distributor. It's not too bad. There we go.
You're not going to be able to handle more than 2 lasers.
Well, that's all I put on here anyway. The rest, I actually have the other thing. You're gonna laugh. Hang on, I'm gonna show you something else. You're just gonna you're gonna be
5 lasers.
You're gonna be in hysterics about this. I have the missile rack, the burst laser, 2 burst lasers. Okay, and then after that, what does he have? Enforcer cannons. These are fucking hilarious. Just how destructive they are. Way underestimated. They're both class 1s, but they dish out like damage if you can hit the target.
Where's your mining lasers there? I didn't see them. Pan back and up and look at your hard points. You must have had at least one. I thought
Not
you
yet.
asked me what's.
I have to buy them.
You gotta give something up.
Yeah, to get something
You
up.
gotta give something up.
We're gonna get rid of the burst lasers, I think, and we'll keep
Good idea.
the enforcer cannons, and we'll keep the because we're not gonna be. You know what? If I get attacked inside that asteroid field,
Yeah.
it's down to the fighters and the enforcer cannon and the missile. The missile is actually the coup de grace. If the fighter can get the shield down on the target, then I can just missile to death whoever's attacking. And hopefully they're not that regular. If it's an anaconda and a ferret allowance, I gotta leave. Like, there's just no choice.
Yeah, I would. There's other things to do with Zip Fighter, right? You could always switch to it, take out the shields of the bad ship, and then switch back to your mothership. And then, too bad
Finish
you
it
can't
off.
tell him to ram. Ram it now. Or, you could ram it. But either way, I used to think of fighters as those mines that used to be able to drop. You're around for that trick?
Yeah.
Where if you were interdicted for your cargo, you immediately drop like 20 or 30 mines and keep going, and it's like worked 80% of the time.
Just watch them all go up.
And then they nerfed it. They completely nerfed it. For a little while, they made the enemy ship actually smart enough not to fly into the cloud of mines. But then I think they changed it back. It was great. So I think of my SLF as like that. I drop it and let it pester the guy that's chasing me.
Okay, so do the mines...
Or wait for the cops
Yeah.
and then turn around and kill them or whatever it is.
Yeah,
Right?
the police ships are always a bonus if they come, but they don't always come. So
Yeah.
So these
That's where I'm
mines,
going to.
so these mines, do they actually fly around? I've never used them. What do they do?
After your ship drops them, when you're moving like 200 or 300 meters a second, right? So you think, well, as soon as I drop this thing, it's going to have the inertia and continue. No, it goes about 20 feet and then stops and floats.
Oh,
if
you're
there's
kidding.
a planet nearby, then you know what happens, right? They start to slowly fall towards the planet.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
3 or 4 meters a second, like everything else.
Yeah.
But if you're out in open space, they stay there. They have a very long life. Right, so a lot of people use the tactic of drumping them and then flying away to get the guy forgetting about him and then flying back into him. But
So they don't explode.
As powerful as they could be.
They don't explode on you, but they'll explode on the target.
Some of them sometimes, yeah. Like I was flying a cutter when I had this, so I had a lot of hard points to throw. So I had lots, but usually you don't, right? Usually you have something smaller, so you're only throwing 6 or 8 or whatever. Then just about every time, everyone's going to go. But if you throw all your hard points in your fire group at once, then yeah, a couple, 3 of them are going to be like whack, whack, whack. And this is assuming you're in the right position, in flight assist off, facing him if possible.
Yeah.
Right. But that's all what the back then. They changed that. It doesn't do it. You have to use your SLF to.
So what are the mines good for now then? Like, can they be useful at all?
They can
or
be dropped on settlements from
like bombs.
Kilometers high. Yep. Yes.
There you go.
If you get so high that you can't see the explosion, then it's not really worth it, all right? So
No,
and
but if you bomb one of those sensor scan missions, though, if you drop enough of these things, I suppose you could take out all the sentinels.
Yeah, it's not easy to do. You'd think it would be, but I've tried it, and it is not easy to do.
No, they need to. You know what they need to have is this. This is my question to you for the night. Why the hell don't we have nukes?
Right? Thermal weaponry and
or maybe a plasma bomb. A plasma bomb will still be a hydrogen reaction, just won't be any radiation after the initial explosion, but you will get the same effect, the same effect. I mean, these a fission blast will completely annihilate. Like, you'll see it from orbit. It will be quite visible. And a plasma bomb.
Think of, in the Return to the King movie,
Yeah.
When Sauron's eye was falling,
Yeah.
Barad-dûr was slowly falling, and then all of a sudden, they decided, Peter Jackson said, ping, and make it blow up in that big force bubble that expanded away from it.
Yeah.
I think of that when I refer to things of that nature, Match.
Yeah.
Not the old Death Star, but the new Death Star. Fuck yourself.
But I mean, you should be able to. If you were in orbit and you saw a nuke go off on the surface of Earth, you're gonna see it. No matter, like, you could be on the moon, and I'm sure you'd have a decent chance of seeing a nuke go off. These are not small incidental explosions. They are noticeable from orbit. They
More
go.
importantly, is what you'd see after a time lapse following the nuke for a day, 3 days, 10 days.
Well,
that'd
there'd
be
be
the important thing to
if
see.
it's a fission weapon, you're going to see tons of radiation. If it's a plasma bomb, you won't see any radiation, but there will be
I want to
plenty
be
of.
on the dark side of the moon myself. I'd be shielded, so then I wouldn't be able to see it.
Well, we're talking for the distance between Earth to the moon. I mean, you're talking at least 200,000 kilometers. No, 400,000 kilometers, right? It's 500,000 kilometers away. So that's quite some distance. You need like many gigatons worth of explosive force to pose a threat to you on the moon, I would think. Certainly, if you're on the dark side of the moon.
You're talking about all kinds of in-game weaponry and elite that could be put in, and the effects that you'd see. I think that's more likely to happen on the game that I pointed you at, because they were talking that their bases are destructible. The ship the guy was in, he couldn't do it in his ship, but if he had a bigger ship with bigger cannons, he could bring down structure, and like, oh my god, please give me at least just a little bit of that with this game.
Yeah, I mean, they've made I think more for playability than anything. They've made the star bases, the starports themselves are indestructible except by the Thargoids, right? And you never get to witness a Thargoid attack on a starport.
No, very disappointing.
Which is extremely disappointing, because
they can't do that in a personal narrative sense. They just can't, because in order to do that, they'd have to have people sign up to be the reporters that get to watch, and they're allowed into the instance that they put on like a play.
Yeah.
That would be as close as you're ever going to get to something like that, or the creation of a whole bunch of new starships, or the transportation of many starships from one starport to another starport.
It's not even clear. Again, the narrative is also drifting a little bit with the Farragut class and the advent of anti-Xeno weaponry. Why the hell is it the Farragut class can't fight Thargoid interceptors again? I don't get it.
That either.
Like, the Farragut should be
the wrong kind of do for him.
The Farragut class should be able to take apart an interceptor without raising too much of a sweat. Right?
Speaking of sweating, girlfriend's on her way home, and I still have the cats outside. I'm going to be sweating if I don't go get them in. So I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to hit my mute button.
Okay, I'm gonna go get my my mining equipment here.
Yeah, this one's no. Yeah, no.
Are you gonna go mining now, Trium?
Is it?
Well, I'm gonna get the equipment for it, and then I got one more mission after that, and then I'm gonna go mining.
Do you want me to go get my shit set back up for mining?
Well, I don't know. Where are we going mining? Where's a good? Do you know a good spot? Because, I mean, if I'm hauling this thing...
Well, Spike gave me a list of them that I happened to save.
Okay. But I'm looking for rhenium, specifically. I need 30 units of rhenium. So anywhere I can get rhenium, and apparently this stuff is pretty common. But I don't know where to get it from. But it's listed, it's on the very common side of the index. So let me just sort this out here for a minute.
Is the silver light heavy transitional metal?
No, rhenium is.
This is according to the game description.
Go to Wiki. Yeah, the Elite Wiki says it's very common. There's an icon there. It says very common.
Well, I was just reading the description.
Okay, well, hold on. Let me just... I'm stuck in a screen I can't get out of just instantaneously right now, which is the outfitting screen, which is kind of dumb.
You need to mine ice asteroids.
Perenium?
That's what it's saying. Known sources. Mining ice asteroids.
Alright. Give me a damn minute here. I gotta fucking sort this out. Store this. Store it. Now. Okay, so we first of all, we need the Class 4 refinery and we need the prospecting limpets. And we need 2 lasers. 2 Class 2 lasers. One moment. I don't even know if that's even doable. Hang on. Back card points. I need you to go to browse shop. Mining lasers Class 2 thermals are available. We want them to not be turreted. we want the fixed mount. Mining laser. So that we don't have to putter around with our frickin' targeting settings every time we go mining. Okay, so buy. Hang on here. Buy. Old module to storage. That's 1. We have a 2D mining laser in slot 1, and in slot 2 we'll have another 2D mining laser. Okay, go back. Stored modules, please. 2 burst lasers confirmed. Okay. Now, we need the refinery. Class 4. I need the optional internal Class 4 refinery. And we don't need the detailed surface scanner for this mission. Right?
For, mining?
Yeah, we don't need a surface scanner.
Probably not. I've already got detailed information about Delcar system, which I've been to once already.
Okay, hold on here.
You got any kind of mining you want to do in that system. That's one of them.
Hold on, we don't even have a refinery yet. You're not doing shit without a refinery.
I'll do whatever I want.
You can, I cannot. 1 second. I have to check something. We will go here and look for the refinery. Class 4 refinery. 4A. Find stations near BD 192360A. In this system, at Kennedy Hub, okay, hold on. Okay, where the fuck are we? Okay, you know what? where the fuck are we here? System map, please. Kennedy Hub. Fresner. Rowett. Reed. Those are the only places to dock. Why the hell? We're in BD 1936. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, it's in CD 24. Nearest location, Kennedy Hub, where we have to take our tantalum. And we need the prospector limpets. A prospector limpet controller, range 7.7. Computer, nearest location to find both of these items. They're at Kennedy Hub in CD 24. Okay, so here's what we'll do. We will put exit, outfit, optional internal, and the detailed surface scanner we will put away. Transfer, store, store. 3 and 4 are now, bays 3 and 4 are now available. Okay, now we're going to take our tantalum to the target system.
Looking good.
Launch.
Oh.
Routier de Varennes.
Okay.
Pew pew pew. In French, that actually is pew 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 pew.
Negative. This time goes further. Yeah, I left him outside too long. It rained on him. Big trouble.
Oh shit, is it raining in Toronto?
Time.
It's raining where you are.
There's no way.
Where do you live at, Spike?
Alberta.
Oh, you live in Alberta.
Calgary, Alberta.
Pew pew pew. Okay, wait, that's not correct. Computer, select the galaxy map. I need you to go to CD 24-10619. CD. CD 24.root. And now, execute FSD. Medium security. Good, we'll have police ships. Because I left some of my equipment behind in that base. All your base are belong to us.
I'm familiar with your reference.
Hey! What the hell's going on? Something terrible is happening here.
Of course. Or it would be elite boring.
What'd you do? Fart?
It's,
Oh, he's an infinite abyss drone. That's all.
okay.
He's fine. Just let him fly. He's going mining, right? He's got limpets.
We're gonna get them right here. There's like 2 major supplies here that we need, and I'm taking tantalum to this system to dump my cargo. So we're achieving 3 missions here all at once.
Roger that.
20,
Off you go.
19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 15, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8.
Kennedy Hub, eh?
It's Kennedy Hubla. Hubba hubba. Oh, we're flying through this gas giant. That's another thing I don't like. How come you can't enter the atmosphere of gas giants in this game the way you can in Elite 2 Frontier? I overshot it slightly, but not quite.
Did you test your weapons? Before you dock, maybe you should see how long you can fire lasers for. Or do you even have them yet?
I don't have any weapons.
Oh.
Why would I have weapons? I'm so belligerent. So you must be looking forward to Calgary Stampede this year. That's when all the tourists show up.
Yeah.
I love tourists in Ottawa. Let me tell you what. They're all over the damn place here.
Safe disengage, ready.
Oh, I shouldn't complain about the tourists, I guess. They help finance things, but... Oh! Hang on. We are suffering major amounts of lag right now, and I don't know why. Hang on a moment.
I see that. Your stream is laggy.
I don't know what's going on.
It's a little better. No, it's not. Uh-oh. Must mean the girlfriend's pulled up. She's latched onto her Wi-Fi. She said she was going to text to see if I want anything to pick up for dinner on the way home, but she hasn't asked that. She just said she was on her way. So she either decided or she forgot.
Or something.
Had her mind up, made already up maybe. Since when does a woman already have that going on?
But it's something a bit wrong.
Well, she's trying to guess what I want.
Okay,
I've got steak in the fridge, that's what I want. I got steak, I got the sauce, I got the salt, the pepper, get the mushrooms, the garlic, the butter. I'm ready to go here. Worcestershire, little garlic salt, little oil. I got the barbecue, or if it's raining, I could do a little sear.
medicine.
Throw a little thyme leaves on there. Roll the butter over the meat while it's cooking if I can. Over and over again. Let it stand for 12.5 minutes and eat it. Oh, there she is. Okay, logging off. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening and good...
I think he's gone.
Sounds like it.
Okay. I honestly don't know what's going on with this lag here. This is like unbelievable. And it just started. For no reason that I can discern. Okay, we have our... some of what we're looking for. Hang on. We'll have to go to outfitting. We'll do that now. So, pick a planet that's halfway towards me and halfway towards you on the list, so that we don't have to, like, crisscross the whole frickin' galaxy just to do this. Okay, optional internals. We need the refinery, please. Refinery.
Well, if you're going to have a refinery on you, and if you and I are in the same spot, I almost think it'd be better off if one refines and the other one just does the prospecting and blowing and shooting.
Well, whatever. I need to get... It doesn't really matter. Like, I need to get this rhenium supply.
Well, what I'm saying is if we're both sitting there with refineries running, it's just going to basically sit there trying to take resources from each other.
Yeah, but how else is it going to work? I mean, you can't...
How many limpets can you run at once?
I don't know yet. Hang on. I'm equipping my ship, so I don't have those answers. You have equipment already determined.
That's just it. I'm trying to decide.
Well, I can't help you right now. I will have one limpet. One prospecting limpet, and up to... Oh, I think I can have as many as 3 collector limpets. So 1 prospector, 3 collectors.
Are you going to have a 3A limpet collector?
Hey? No, I have like 3A prospector limpets. Actually, I'll have 2 of them. 2 active limpets.
And how many? They can run 2 limpets at a time.
Right.
If you got 2 of them, then you can run 4 limpets at once.
Yeah, 5, actually. 5 total limpets at once.
You'll run 4 collectors at once and then 1 prospector.
Well, I don't have that many.
That'd be 5 total.
I don't have that many collector limpets.
You're just running 1 collector limpet.
I only have space. There's not enough slots to fill my ship with collector limpets, so...
Well, that's why I'm asking, how many controllers are you going to have?
1
controller?
1 controller.
Okay, so...
Class
then
A.
you'll be able to run 2 limpets.
No, 3. The
collector limpets.
Hang on. I'm stuck in this screen again. I can't find anything out. The class of collector limpet I have is class 3A. I can have 2 active limpets per... Yeah, 2 active limpets per. And I can have a 4A fuel scoop. Actually, that's a better configuration, you know. Hang on a second, I just realized something is screwed up here. We don't need that. We need collection limpet class 5. The 5A collector limpet can run 3 active limpets at a time. Yeah. Store. Okay, and now the collector limpet we have here Holy shit. We need... You know... The fuel scoop, right. So, fuel scoop class 3. Actually, we don't even need the fucking fuel scoop right now. I need to know... Fuck! Stored modules, please. Thank you. Could I see my class 4 inventories? There's a 4D fuel scoop. Which will take 27 minutes to arrive, but we'll transfer it here because why the hell not? A fuel scoop, multi-cannon shield generator, research limpet controller, no, I need the 4D fuel scoop. Where the fuck are they? 4A fuel scoop, 21 minutes from Duamka. There's 2 of these damn things here. Wolf 359 in 20 minutes. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. At the moment, we're waiting for deliveries of fuel scoops.
Okay.
And while that's going on, we have replaced we have a refinery and a 5A collector limpet, which gives us 3 limpets in slot 6 in our class 6 internal slot. We're going to store this one. So that gives us a total of 3 collectors and 1 refinery, class 4. So we'll be able to launch 3 limpets, 3 collector limpets simultaneously at a range of 1,500 kilometers. Sorry, 1,560 meters, so 1.5 kilometers, I beg your pardon. And we have a refinery that can process, it has 10 bins. Is there anything else I need to process ore?
To process ore, you need the refineries and the collector limpets. So prospectors are used so that you have an idea of how much and when the asteroid runs dry of resources. So as long as you got a prospector, a collector, a refinery, and limpets, you're good to go, and your mining lasers, you're good to go.
Okay, then I just have to wait until the fuel scoop arrives, because it's going to take up my class 4 bay now, after I've moved everything around. But I'm also going to do some upgrading right now, because I can. Come on. Jesus Murphy. Holy shit. Remote workshop, please. Collection limpets. Select.
Hold on. Okay, sorry. Wife unexpectedly wanted to talk to me.
Again?
Dude, I'm married. I'm gonna get interrupted in everything I do every 7 minutes for the rest of my life.
Yeah, apparently.
The only time they let me be is when they're all sleeping and I'm stay up late and get drunk.
Enforcer cannon. I want the collector limpet controller. And we don't need the heatsink launcher registered. Okay, good. So this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Okay, we're almost configured. Still waiting for fuel scoop to arrive.
But in the middle of the mining process, you shouldn't need the fuel scoop.
No, but if I leave this base and go anywhere, then I will basically need the fuel scoop to do longer jumps. Without it, I basically will take twice as long to get there. So I'm waiting for this fuel
Which ship
scoop.
are you in?
Plus, I'm actually moving the fuel scoop from one slot to back down to another.
What ship are you on? Your
The heavy type 9. We are 14 minutes away from the main unit arriving. But there's one other thing I have to check, and that is I need a fire control test on the mining lasers to verify my weapons are set up properly. Give me a moment. I'm going to launch and go near the starbase. And then I'll redock with the starbase when it's time. Okay, we have low power ratings on... Hang on. We're using 78%.
You are clear of the station. Have a safe trip, Commander.
So what this is about, I don't know. Okay, weapons are functioning normally. But they are misconfigured. Firing groups, enforcer cannons. No, we don't need these running at the same time. You still there?
I'm here.
We're 21.3 kilometers away from Kennedy Hub. Stowing our weapons cluster. There's a high energy FSD wake here. Collector, prospector, seeker missile, prospector, collector, 5, 6, and 1. Okay. Well, for the moment, it looks as if our lag has disappeared. I still don't know what exactly caused it. Oh, it's back again.
Request approved. Set down on landing pad 40.
Proceeding to Bay 40.
Automated docking approved.
Damn near crashed into an outbound craft, of course. Because whenever you enter or leave the starbase, there has to be someone else trying to enter or leave at the exact same time as you.
Contact. Docking restraints
This lag could easily be YouTube.
Could be.
I can't account for it any other way at the moment, but... Okay, so now we will have a look at our stored modules inventory. We have 6 minutes to go. Let me just see about this lag here. My CPU task manager says that there's no lag, no performance, no process-based lag.
Something in your internet connection, then.
There's nothing really here that's, I mean, other than the lead itself, but it's always usually in the top two processes. It's either first or second.
There?
No, I think I got stung by a bee or a wasp. When I was out in the garden.
I don't see nothing.
Holy
Like,
crap!
not a mosquito bite. Oh, I fucking burned.
I don't see nothing. There should be Benadryl up there if you need some.
Yeah. Better.
Dude, this is like major lag.
Maybe it's something to do with the system you're in.
I don't know, but it's just nasty.
Benadryl, isn't it? Garden starting to flower. You're gonna have to watch for bees. Oh,
Holy crap, I can't even move this map.
you're gonna have to reboot your computer to.
I don't know, this isn't playable right now. I can try ending some of the other processes like the video feed and whatnot, but I shouldn't have to do that. Fuck off. Fuck off.
Alright, so you can get about halfway there before I gotta refuel.
Look, fuck off. Jesus Christ, this thing is nasty. Bell cars with a K or a C?
Delkar.
Oh.
It should only be within 50 light years of where you're at now.
DEL what?
Delkar.
Yeah, it's 31 light years away. But I'm gonna, I have to fix this. This is not playable. It just isn't. There's no fucking way I'm playing like this.
Do what you gotta do.
Okay, I may disconnect. 1 second. You still there?
Yep.
So, I don't know. It seems like everything should be working fine, but it's certainly having spasms of not working at all. Outfitting, please.
Good night.
Good night. Love you.
Okay, I'm headed for the Delcar system.
She left the front door open. Okay, where are you heading? Now?
I may actually be logging off because this is not working.
Reboot your system, see if it changes anything.
No, but nothing's reporting. Like it doesn't. It's not going to make any difference.
Huh?
It's not going to make any difference. I can tell you right now. I already know exactly what.
It's not the computer. It could be the game or.
You're speaking to a software developer. I have a clue how these things work. Okay, I'm not like new to this. Give me a second here. I'm going to shut off YouTube.